going to go over all things algorithm. I want for us to learn about the nuances. If you're a content creator, or maybe thinking about becoming one, I highly recommend get a notebook and a pen so you can take some very important notes. And I want to make sure that I'm able to answer the questions that may have been burning in the back of your mind. For me, at least, understanding the algorithm and how it impacts how I show up in the YouTube feeds for people was pretty critical for me to learn, even though I didn't get it for months. The reality of it is you can't hack the algorithm. Let me break that myth right now at the beginning of this conversation. Let me explain what the algorithm is. It's basically a recommendation system. At its core, the algorithm is a sophisticated system that analyzes a lot of different data to predict what viewers want to see and what they're willing to watch next. There is not a single fixed formula, but rather a constantly evolving set of rules for this particular machine and learning model. I really struggled with understanding what the algorithm was. I felt like, okay, I'm a new channel. Nobody knows who I am. So nobody's ever going to see my videos. How am I going to get recommended out? I am fortunate that I am connected with a few platforms that have already established themselves. So as they talked about what I was doing over here, my voice got heard by other people. People came over and they got to meet me. And I'm grateful for every one of those relationships and glad to say I still have them. But the thing about the algorithm is not gatekeeping you as an individual channel or even a potential channel. The algorithm is not trying to suppress your content or hide you from your potential audience. Instead, what it's trying to do is find out who you are, what you're offering, and who best to recommend you to. Now, what the algorithm is most seriously considering is the viewer's behavior, not yours. And I know that's kind of backwards. You're thinking, I'm the content creator. Shouldn't it be concerned with me? Well, it is. And I'll explain a little bit more about that in a moment. Primarily, though, the algorithm is looking at its audience. Who do I show you to? If you are a fiber art content creator, they're probably not showing your videos to somebody who likes to watch videos about working on cars or plumbing or preppers or things like that. Those are not going to be the spaces that your videos are going to do well. You see, the algorithm really is your friend. So you want to have video content that is pushed to the right direction. I would be disturbed if every time I turned on my YouTube channel, it showed me videos about how to fix cars. That's not my wheelhouse. It's not my testimony. I would also be highly upset if every time I turned on my YouTube space, it showed me basketball videos again. Yours truly is 5'4". I am not going to grow. Never liked basketball. I understand the mechanics of it, but I don't like it. I'll just be honest. Those of you that do, don't hate me. Just forgive me. It's my thing. But that's why the algorithm is important. Some of the factors that the algorithm is considering for viewers is watch time. If you're only going to watch things that are 10 to 12 minutes long, if you got a TikTok attention span, and I say TikTok, and I'll explain all about that in a moment, but if you have a very short attention span, or you're only going to stick around for 10 to 12 minutes, well, I'm not going to show you videos that are going to be 90 minutes long because that hurts the content creator. And it's not fair to them, and it's also not fair to the person who's watching. Another thing, again, is audience retention. If this is a person who never watches a channel consistently, for example, as a channel, I'm YesMichelle Crochets. If people come to my channel once and they never return, well, they're not going to recommend my video to those people because they know that those people are not connected with me, my brand, or what I'm representing. So therefore, that's the wrong place to send me. However, if you are subscribed to my channel and you've clicked the bell notification, and I hope you have, and as content creators, I hope you guys are remembering to tell your audience to do that as well. The other thing that the algorithm is paying attention to is engagement. Are your audience people the kind of folks who only watch on their phone, and therefore they're going to hit a quick like, and maybe they're not going to subscribe? Maybe they're watching on their televisions and they just can't or don't know how to hit the like button. That's something that I'm going to try to start remembering myself to explain. How do you click the like button when you're watching on your television? And the answer, in case you're wondering, is you grab your remote, you hit the arrow up button. It gives a banner of information, the description box. It shows your subscribe button. It shows whether or not they want the closed captioning, the like and dislike, and all of those gears. But by telling them to click the arrow up button and scroll over to the thumbs up, that's how you click a like while watching on your television. The other thing is share. You're hearing me as you watch more of my videos say, I really need you to share this video because I'm in a growing season. Because the reality is YouTube has a funny way of disconnecting people from channels that they've watched for weeks, months, and years. Those of you who have channels already have probably seen you might have 500 subscribers today, and then tomorrow you've got 470, and you can't figure out, did a bunch of people leave? No, YouTube did some checks and decided to randomly start unsubscribing people. Maybe they're people who haven't been engaging with your content. All of that's algorithm based, and those are things that you need to constantly be reminding your audience to make sure that they need to check on and kind of keep up with. It's kind of a relationship. If you're not pouring into them what you need, they don't know what to give you. They, in a way, are their own algorithm for you. So there is that. And of course, one of the things I try to do, though I have missed it on occasion, is to make sure that I put in an end screen that encourages not only that like and subscribe and share, but it also recommends another video. Typically, I leave it into the hands of YouTube to decide what video it recommends. Maybe this is someone who really loves videos about the books related to crochet. So they're going to want to see another video that is about the books that I talk about. Maybe this is someone who's new to crochet and really needs to know more about the different abbreviations that we use. So it's going to recommend a video based on that. Hopefully, most likely, it's going to be one of your videos. But if you're not plugging in those end screens, then the algorithm may not recommend you as the next video that shows up. Some people watch on their television, like I said, and they're not physically choosing the next video. Instead, the algorithm is. So if this isn't someone who constantly connects with your channel, the next video coming up might not be you. Why is that important? Think about your watch hours. If you don't have a minimum of 3,000 watch hours and 500 subscribers, you're not monetized on any level with YouTube, which means you're not getting paid. So all of the work that you're doing to grow your platform is for naught, because there is no ROI, return on your investment. And many of us do this as yet a passion project. But we also do this because it's a resource that recoups funds for us to pay for the time we invest. For me, it also pays for the educational time that I spend learning about this mechanic that is YouTube. I didn't wake up yesterday and go, I want to understand all things algorithm, and now I do. No, that's not how that worked. I literally did my homework. I was being a student so that I could sit in front of you and confidently try to help you demystify what is an algorithm and why is it so important. Now, here's a factor that really, even as I'm going to discuss it with you, kind of is weird to me, and that is the click-through rate. This is the percentage of people who click your video after seeing the thumbnail and title. So let's say they're in their recommendation part of their YouTube channel, and they see person A, person B, maybe they see two of your videos. Based on the thumbnail, they decide, I'm going to watch this video versus that. Maybe they choose it based on the title. But that CTR, click-through rate, is something that the YouTube system is looking at to consider, do I need to continue to recommend this video? Or is this something I don't need to recommend quite as much because it doesn't have the level of engagement? So those things are very important, which is why in the future, we will talk more deeply about how branding and marketing your particular niche and platform will come into play and intersect with the algorithm. But we'll talk more about that later. And then, of course, there's the not interested feedback. I have used this on occasion. YouTube has sent me channels that are in my niche that just are not, I don't connect with them. And it has no negativity about the content creator. But if they're talking about a particular style of crochet that is either over my wheelhouse or it just daunts me and I don't want to see it, I can very easily say, don't show me videos that are about whatever. It does keep the feedback about things that you're not interested in. So therefore, it's sending you to the right places. It's letting you show up at the right house or on the right device. It also keeps a viewing history. So let's say you were looking at a bunch of thumbnails in your recommendations and you saw so-and-so has a video. I want to watch that, but I need to watch this because I got to figure out how to do this, whatever that is. But I'm going to go back to that. So you might have watched the intro or just a piece of that video, but you left to go watch something else. Well, if you go to your viewer history, you can go back to that other video and watch it in its entirety. That's the beauty of our algorithm. It keeps that information for us. It also keeps a history of your search history. So let's say you looked up how to change a light bulb under the microwave for my stove. I know that's a specific thing, but I have to change the light bulb under my microwave. So that is something I'm going to be looking up. Anyway, that information will show up in my history. So let's say I looked it up in my room on my television. But when I go into the kitchen, I'm going to look at my phone and my search history is there so I can see what it is I wanted to know. What video I said, oh, this one makes the most sense for me, and watch that one in greater detail at the place I need to see it. Hence, there's a lot of moving parts to the algorithm. And this is why when you watch those videos where they're like, oh, you can trick the algorithm to show up more in other people's YouTube feed. No, you can't. No, you can't. All you can do is produce the best product, the best video that you can produce with an eye-catching thumbnail and a mind-catching title. Use those things. Produce your best product. That's the only thing you need to do to trick the algorithm. Everything else is for naught. You cannot trick the algorithm. Now, some of the things that show up related to our videos that YouTube gets information about, whether you're giving it directly to them or not, is metadata. I did not understand, and I still don't fully get what the purpose of metadata is. Metadata is the data about data. In a nutshell, I know that sounds silly, but it's the truth. It provides the context information, where the picture or video was taken, at what time. It gives other sources like creation date, who the author was. So is this your information? Is this your video? Or is this a video that you got through other sources? Was this something that might be somebody else's original content and you're using it under fair use? You see, all of this comes into play to protect you, your brand, and your channel in the event that there is a challenge to a video you put up. Let's say you're using music in your video. Again, metadata is critical because there is royalty-free use music that you can use on your videos. And if that's not available to you, or the music suddenly is no longer covered under that device, let's say you pay for a private music stream like Epidemic Sound, which is something that I pay for. But me paying for Epidemic Sound means if I use music in one of my videos and YouTube says, hey, that's a content strike because we don't agree that you can play that music, well, Epidemic Sound is going to say, we give license for that. She's covered. Keep it pushing. So that protection is a benefit to me. But again, that information is available to YouTube through metadata. It dings bells for them as this is okay, this is not, the long and short of it. And some of the other metadata information that show up for our videos as content creator are the titles. So this is where you hear the statement clickbait. Let's say I said this video was all about me teaching you how to make a granny square, and I didn't even mention granny square. That's clickbait. The metadata of what my title, my thumbnail, and other relevant information said versus what I discussed, they have to be in compliance and they have to match up. Hence the metadata. Why is it relevant? Like I said, nobody wants clickbait. If you're using clickbait to get attention, the reality is the audience won't stay. It gives your brand authenticity, the long and short of it. Now, where the algorithm surfaces in videos. Of course, as I said in the beginning, it shows up on the home page of our YouTube feed. When you open up your YouTube app, whether you're opening it on your television, your computer, or on your phone, it's going to give you a recommended page. You'll usually, unfortunately, you're going to see an ad. 9 times out of 10, the very first thing you see is an ad. This is a sponsored video or short that some company thinks they want to push out on you. It may or may not be relevant, but the next things coming up are 9 times out of 10 going to be channels that you subscribe to, or they're showing videos related to things you've previously searched for or watched. That's the success of the algorithm. Another place that you're going to see it, of course, is in the suggested videos. If you scroll down on your television, the next ones are going to be suggested videos. Maybe this isn't someone you've ever watched before, but it's in the field of interest that you often look for. So like me, I'm really good about watching crochet content. Wonder why. Anyway, so I'm going to see a lot of recommendations for channels that I subscribe to, but I'm also going to see recommendations for channels that I've never seen before. Maybe there's a brand new channel out there that YouTube thinks, ha, she'll give them a shot. Or maybe because I listen to a lot of music that doesn't have words, it's going to give recommendations of lo-fi channels or things like that. It knows what I watch, what I listen to. It knows I like comedies. So it's going to recommend comedians. Hopefully comedians I like, but sometimes they're comedians I've never seen before. So I get the opportunity to see and be exposed to a new situation that I would have never thought of to look up on my own. Goes back to the statement, you don't know what you don't know. So then, of course, there's a trending tab. So over the last, basically a little more than 24 hours, the buzz of the day is all about big twist yarn and Hirschners in the crochet community. So anybody who's got a video talking about Hirschners, connecting with the big twist yarn, their video is going to show up in that trending topic. If there was a bank heist in Alaska and all of a sudden everybody was getting, access to this money, I'm sure those of you who at all saw the Chase Bank glitch, okay, that was theft. Let's call it what it was. It was theft. But we all heard about the bank theft that was going on with the Chase Bank thing. So that was a trending topic, and that was why it showed up in our feeds. Another thing, of course, you're going to get if you're subscribed to channels or notifications. Let's say you're watching a video of a different channel, and all of a sudden, one of your favorite content creators drops a new video or goes live or does a premiere, one of my favorite things to do. And then immediately you're going to get notification that I've dropped a new video or I've gone live or whatever the situation. Even if I put up a post, you're usually going to get a notification about those types of things. And of course, there is always the browsing feature. So let's say you have a how-to question. Going to that search box is going to let you look up videos related to what you want to know. Now, why does all of this matter to content creators? Let's be realistic. Are you going to go to your job, whatever you do, and not have a general idea of how to do that job and get no training and be successful? I can pretty much tell you as somebody who has hired people, the answer is no. You cannot walk into a situation completely blind and not understand how something works. The purpose for understanding the algorithm for you as a content creator or even a potential content creator, and then again, as an audience member, is to understand why things show up in front of you so that you can decide, okay, I don't want to see any more videos about basketball. I don't care about basketball. So let me start searching for videos that I do like. Let me search for content creators that I do like. As a content creator, am I seeing a trend right now of people who are making granny square dresses? Absolutely. Am I going to make one? No. But am I going to talk about one in a video soon? Maybe. The point is, if this is something that the audience wants to see, we need to produce products and content for the audience so that we do show up in their algorithms and we do get their attention and keep it. You see, if I hadn't shared with other people that I was going to be making a pivot on my platform to introduce and teach more about the behind the scenes and the mechanics of what YouTube is, how does it work, how do we grow as content creators, nobody would ever know to come over here and learn more about what this is and what it does. Of course, sharing all this information for you gives me the opportunity to help you understand how to increase your visibility in the algorithm for your potential audience. It also helps you with channel growth. And that, to me, is the reason that we all even make a video in the first place. Of course, it's also going to connect you with your target audience. If you're making crochet videos about wearables, but your target audience is really all about amigurumi, then you might want to tweak the information that you're putting out there. You have to, give the information that your audience wants to receive. One of the biggest mistakes that I was told, and I'll admit I have told others, is to make those first videos with little interest as to what the topic was. That's a mistake. Don't waste your time making boring, dead videos that you don't think anyone's going to watch. The reality is somebody's going to watch it at some point, and they will look at you very differently because of it. I know that my first videos, you saw my growth. You see my journey. And I'm not going to pull any of them down because I want you to see them. Once I started giving my audiences what they wanted to see, I had people who did not understand what the terminology and abbreviations were in patterns. I kept hearing over and over and over again, I can't read patterns. I only look at video tutorials because I don't understand the written pattern. I'm like, let me break that down. I love to teach. So this is something that I did very well with, and it grew my audience. I'm a person of relationship. I love making connections with new people. So making myself aware of where my camera is, where to look. I started out with putting on makeup and doing all of the glammy junk. And for me, it's junk because I don't do that stuff. As soon as I was done filming my video, I immediately ran to my bathroom, washed that stuff off my face, pulled my hair in a ponytail, and got about the business of my daycare. When I stopped giving people what I thought they wanted and honestly gave them what I am and who I am, and moreover, what they wanted to see, I saw monumental growth in my platform. I saw monumental growth in my subscribers. And I think I really saw the most growth within me, because suddenly I wasn't stuck on whether or not somebody was looking at my skin going, why does she have that strange pigmentation? Or why did she comb her hair that way? Why did she do that? The why factor wasn't a factor anymore, because the information that I was sharing was the factor that they came for and returned for. So there's that. Now, in simple terms, for the few people who may still be saying, what the heck did she just say? What is she talking about? Think of the YouTube algorithm as a very helpful friend who knows what you like. The more videos you watch and interact with, the better this friend understands what your taste is and what to share with you. When you, as a content creator, upload a new video, the algorithm tries to figure out who else is going to want to see that video, and they're going to push that video in that direction. If people really like your video, it's going to continue to recommend that video. And if they don't like the video, they may not recommend it as much, but that's more out of protection for you and your feelings. The truth of it is, we only know that people are liking our video, what the engagement looks like as a global thing. It's when people leave those comments, because that information tells YouTube that it isn't just a lie, that other people will benefit from watching this information. And they're going to want to show that to other people long after I've gone to bed or that I put up other videos. To be honest, being subscribed isn't enough. Even if you click the bell and turn on all notifications, if you don't interact and engage with the content, comment, like, share, the notifications will slow down and or stop. I'm not a gatekeeper. I am going to tell you what I know. Listen, I'm a funnel. Information is poured into me. I'm going to pour it out. It's just that simple. If I can help somebody else do what I do, have fun at what they do, and do it in a way that supports them, whether this is a passion product or it's an income generating opportunity, well, then it's my pleasure to do exactly that. Thank you for being here. And until I see you again, make sure you eat, you drink your water. But most of all, I hope you have some fun today.